General Hospital spoilers for Friday, March 14th reveal that Lois finally receives some reassurance, a small glimmer of hope amidst the storm surrounding her. Brook Lynn, though caught in a whirlwind of uncontrollable troubles, still tries to offer her mother some assurance that everything will eventually be okay. But is that truly the case, or is it just a temporary reassurance to keep Lois from worrying too much? The story of Geo remains a ticking time bomb, and Brook Lynn knows full well that once the truth about his identity is exposed, everything will never be the same again. She cannot continue hiding, she cannot keep a secret that she doesn't know how much longer she can conceal. But she also understands that if her mother finds out the whole truth, she may not be able to bear the shock. Lois has always believed that she did the right thing, that she helped Brook Lynn make the best choice to protect the child in the past. But if everything she believed to be true is just a small part of the story, if Brook Lynn has not truly had control over her son's fate, then it means that everything they have done until now has been a mistake. Brook Lynn tries to keep Lois calm, tries to prevent her from unnecessary panic. But even she is beginning to feel uneasy as the secrets she thought she had under control start slipping out of her hands. Geo is not just a secret from the past, he is an integral part of the present, and with each passing day, the risk of the truth being exposed grows higher than ever. Lois, despite being reassured, cannot deny that something is wrong. A mother's instinct tells her that Brook Lynn is hiding something too big to admit right now. And she cannot help but wonder whether the reassurance her daughter provides is truly trustworthy. Crazy thoughts begin to emerge in Lois's mind, theories she never dared consider. Is the child she once thought had been placed in a safe family truly living a happy life, or is there something else that happened that she doesn't know about? If everything she once trusted is just part of a bigger plan, it means both she and Brook Lynn have been deceived. And Brook Lynn, despite trying to hide her inner panic, knows that she doesn't have much time left. How much longer can she keep this secret? How long can she protect her mother from the truth before everything falls apart? And when that happens, will Lois still trust her, or will their mother-daughter relationship shatter just like everything else they tried to protect? A new explosion is slowly approaching. And Brook Lynn knows that when it happens, no one will be able to escape its consequences. Lois, Geo, Dante, Sonny, everyone will be swept into the whirlwind of the truth. And the only question left is, who will suffer the most when everything is exposed? Kristina is growing increasingly uneasy as the truths about Sonny gradually become clear in ways she never anticipated. The vague hunches within her begin to form sharper pieces, leading her to a truth that could change everything. She senses that something is wrong, that something dangerous is surrounding her father, and this time, she cannot ignore her instincts. Recent events are making Kristina even more suspicious. Sonny is no longer the invincible, strong man she once knew. He is hiding something, a secret that no matter how hard he tries, he cannot keep forever. The changes in his health, the sudden pains, the fleeting moments of loss of control, they are all painting a much darker picture than he has ever admitted. But what's even scarier is that the darkness is not only engulfing Sonny, but it is slowly creeping toward Kristina as well. She's not just afraid for her father, she's afraid for herself. Something is happening, some force is surrounding Sonny, and if she's not careful, she too could be caught up in this dangerous spiral. Each day, she feels herself being pulled deeper into a story she doesn't fully understand. She hears interrupted conversations when she enters, she sees avoiding glances whenever she mentions Sonny, and she notices signs of something more dangerous than any enemy her father has ever faced. The haunting thoughts in Kristina's mind grow stronger. She is no longer just suspicious, she knows something is going on, something Sonny doesn't want her to know. But why? Is he protecting her, or is he protecting himself? The more she tries to understand, the more it feels like she's lost in a maze with no way out. The answers she seeks do not come from those around her, but from strange dreams and inexplicable hunches she cannot explain. She starts seeing fleeting images in her mind, fragments of memories that don't belong to her, whispers no one else can hear. She's not sure whether these are just hallucinations due to stress, or a warning from deep within her subconscious. But one thing is for sure, there is a dark secret being hidden, and if she doesn't uncover it soon, it could overwhelm her in ways she can't imagine. Kristina has never felt more alone than she does now. She doesn't know who she can trust, she doesn't know who really wants to help her uncover the truth, and who is trying to keep her in the dark. Every lead she follows seems to lead to dead ends, to walls that separate her from the truth. But she can't stop now. And if her next step leads her to a painful or even life-threatening truth, she is willing to accept it. Because once Kristina decides to uncover the truth, nothing can make her turn back. Dante sat deep in thought, facing Chase, his gaze intense as if trying to piece together the scattered fragments in his mind. The doubts surrounding him were relentless, and even though he was an experienced cop, he couldn't easily dismiss the instincts that were growing clearer with each passing day. Chase, once a colleague and now a close friend, was perhaps the only person he could trust at this moment. Dante began to talk about the things he had noticed recently, strange signs, seemingly unrelated events that carried an eerie connection. He had seen Sonny change in behavior, moments of lost control, and suspicious meetings that no one could explain. But what worried him the most wasn't just Sonny, it was everyone around his father. Something was wrong, something was happening that they couldn't see with the naked eye. Names like Sidwell, Drew, and even other shadowy forces were starting to form in Dante's mind, as if they were playing a game of chess he couldn't fully comprehend. He didn't want to believe his father was being pulled into a dangerous plot, but all the signs pointed in one direction: Sonny was hiding something, and maybe he no longer had the power to control it. Chase listened carefully, each word from Dante adding another piece to the puzzle, making him realize they might be facing a much bigger crisis than they had imagined. He had his own suspicions, especially after seeing how Brook Lynn, Lois, and even Kristina were being drawn into strange events they couldn't explain. Something was changing in the dark, and if they didn't act soon, a major disaster might unfold that no one could control. Dante took a deep breath, trying to calm the anxiety inside him. He wasn't one to lose his composure easily, but this time, his instincts were screaming that something was seriously wrong. If Sonny was in danger, if someone was manipulating him, then he needed to uncover the truth before it was too late. But the question was, could he do that without making things worse? Chase looked at his friend, noticing the rare hesitation in Dante's eyes. He understood that Dante was torn between his duty as a cop and his feelings as a son. He knew that feeling, the desire to protect those you love but also not being able to ignore the truth. "Be careful, Dante," Chase said after a moment of silence. "I'm not sure what you're facing, but I can tell you this for sure: if your instincts are right, this is bigger than we imagined." Dante nodded, his eyes burning with determination. He knew he couldn't stop now. What was happening wasn't just a series of disconnected events, they were pieces of a bigger plot, a plot that could change everything. The only question left was whether they could stop it before it was too late, or if they, too, would get caught in the whirlwind of chaos with no way out. Today was a special day, Trina's birthday, but little did she know that a big surprise awaited her. Not a material gift or a lavish party, but a confession that could change everything. Kai, the one she had been close to for so long, was standing on the edge of a bold decision, revealing his true feelings for Trina. All day, Kai had been acting strangely, but Trina couldn't guess what was going on in his mind. The air between them felt different, as if an emotional storm was slowly forming that she couldn't quite grasp. Kai no longer wore his usual carefree demeanor, instead, there was a hidden tension behind his determined gaze. Something was pushing him, something that couldn't be delayed any longer. The moonlight reflected off the ocean, creating an ethereal space that made everything feel more still than ever. The sea breeze ruffled Trina's hair, and she felt her heart race without knowing why. The world around them seemed to shrink, as if there were only the two of them, and whatever was about to happen would be a moment they would never forget. Kai could no longer hide it. He knew that if he didn't say it now, he might never have the chance again. Their relationship had always been full of unspoken sparks, moments where both of them knew there was something more between them, but no one dared to cross that line. Today, he didn't want to let those moments slip away without meaning anymore. Kai looked at Trina with concern, as if he had placed his heart in her hands, waiting for her to decide what to do with it. He knew that his words could change everything, could bring them closer together, or push them further apart forever. But no matter what, he couldn't stay silent any longer. He had loved Trina for a long time, had tried to hide it, tried to pretend that this feeling would quietly pass, but today, he realized he couldn't live without letting her know the truth. Trina felt a flood of emotions rise within her all at once. Surprise, happiness, confusion, and even a little fear. She had always seen Kai as a close friend, but perhaps, deep down in her heart, she had known that what they shared was not just friendship. The way their gazes lingered too long, the accidental touches that felt far more meaningful, the moments where both of them sensed something but no one dared to admit it, all of those now made sense. She looked into Kai's eyes, seeing sincerity and worry in them. He had bravely said what she had never dared to think, and now, the decision was hers. Trina took a deep breath, feeling like she was standing at a crossroads in her life. She could reject it, pretend that this feeling didn't exist, but could she really live that way? Could she look into Kai's eyes and deny the truth that her heart was racing just as fast as his? She didn't know what would happen next, but one thing was certain, once she made her decision, there would be no turning back. And maybe, this was the moment she had been waiting for all along without even realizing it. Today was Trina's birthday, but the greatest gift she received wasn't from wrapped boxes or kind wishes. It came from Kai's heart, from the feelings he had kept hidden for so long and finally had the courage to share. And now, it was her turn to decide what would happen next. Would she walk toward Kai, or turn away from everything that was exploding in her heart? Sonny was in a sharing mood, a rare occurrence for a man like him, someone who always kept things to himself and rarely expressed his emotions. But today, something felt different, a change in the way he viewed everything around him. Retirement, something he had never seriously considered before, was now becoming an obsession in his mind. It was no longer a distant hypothesis but a reality that was approaching fast, something he knew he couldn't avoid forever. For years, Sonny had lived a life far from peaceful. Power struggles, confrontations, and endless rivalries had become a part of his existence. He had never truly thought about another life, a life where he didn't constantly have to be on guard, always ready for a fight. But now, as age started to weigh down on him and heart pains became more frequent, he couldn't help but wonder if it was time for him to step away from this world. Sonny knew that leaving wouldn't just affect him, it would affect everyone around him. His family, who had grown accustomed to him being the protector, the center of everything, would have to face major changes. Could they stand strong without him? Could they continue on without his presence? And most importantly, was he really ready to step away from the life he had spent his youth building? These questions gnawed at him, eating away at his resolve. But even as he considered retirement, he knew he couldn't just disappear without a concrete plan. Who would take his place? Who was capable of maintaining everything he had built? And most importantly, who could protect his family from the enemies still lurking out there? Sonny understood that he couldn't just leave and hope everything would work itself out. He needed a careful transition of power, a perfect plan to ensure that no one could exploit the void he would leave behind. But was there anyone trustworthy enough to hand everything over to? Jason was an obvious choice, but he wasn't sure if Jason wanted to return to a position he had once left. Michael, his son, had once rejected this path, but would he be willing to step up if the situation required it? Retirement was not just a personal decision, it was a chain of choices that could completely alter the power dynamics in the world Sonny had created. A wrong move could cause everything to collapse, putting his family in danger in ways he couldn't control. This wasn't a decision that could be made hastily, but rather a transition that needed to be handled delicately and carefully. But alongside all these calculations, there was one thing Sonny couldn't deny: he was tired. He had fought for too long, faced too many losses, and made too many sacrifices. He wanted peace, he wanted to enjoy the moments he had never had the chance to appreciate before. But could someone like him really find peace, or would he always be pulled back into the world he had lived in for so long? Sonny was standing at the biggest crossroads of his life, a decision that would not only affect him but everyone he loved. And no matter how many plans he made or how much preparation he did, he couldn't be sure that he could truly leave this world without consequences. But one thing he knew for sure, his time in this world was running out, and whether he was ready or not, a major change was coming.